Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got a little bit of a different video for you today. It's not a ship tour, it's not a room tour, anything like that. If you've ever been on a cruise and you notice when the ship is sailing away from port, a lot of times there's a beach or a park nearby where people kind of congregate to look at the ships as they sail away. In Miami, this is South Pointe Park. And so I figured I'd do a video. I was there a couple weeks ago and I watched the ship sail away. And I thought it was a good chance to show you what it's like, what the park is like. It's a very nice park. Parking is a little limited. I think especially on the weekend, you'd be really lucky to find a spot right in the park area. And but I figured it was a good chance to get a video like this, show you some of the ships. This one specifically is on MSC Seascape, which is one of their newer ships, and it's neat to kind of just watch it go by. I hope you enjoy the video, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Here we are at the entrance to the park. That's Washington Avenue that takes you right down here. So this is the parking lot here. It's a big loop. And oh, by the way, there are like some crazy places to live down here. Some of these condos have to be like mega expensive. But that parking right there is a big loop. And basically it's, you know, first come, first serve. If you find a spot, great. If not, you're probably going to go a few blocks in. That's what I had to do. I think I was about 5 or 6 blocks away. Really not that bad of a walk, but it would have been nice to find something right there in the parking. And so they've got some of these water fountains here. It's a really nice park. This was a Saturday late afternoon, maybe 4:30ish, around there. People walking their dogs, pushing the strollers, going for a jog, whatever it might be. And here you go. As we look toward the right, you can start to see where the all the terminal buildings are for the cruise port. And once you get along the water, it's really kind of nice where you can see how close you're going to be as those ships go by. We're going to turn to the left here. And so the park goes all along this walkway, and then I think eventually turns into kind of the pier that you can go out even further if you want to see when the ships go by. I kind of liked this one because I could hear the horns as the ships pull away from the terminal. They kind of sound their horns, so you know that one of them is coming. There's Icon of the Seas right there at the Royal Caribbean terminal. And so here is the MSC Seascape when it came by. And one thing I would say is check the port schedule. Just Google it, and it'll let you know, first of all, what ships are there that day, but typically what their departure times are. Just from my experience, don't go with that as like the absolute rule on when you're going to see them go by. Sometimes they do adjust it. I think MSC Seascape was supposed to be one of the last ships to go, and it was actually one of the first. So I'm kind of glad I was out here along the water and paying attention as it was getting ready to sail by. And, you know, Miami is the cruise port capital of the world type of thing. And so they get all the newest, the biggest, the craziest ships out there. I don't know the MSC fleet that well, if this is in fact their newest ship. I do know when they come out with the MSC World America, I think is the name of it, that will be based out of Miami. But this is a really neat ship. One of the things I was surprised about with this MSC ship was how tall it was. It seemed like it was even taller than, say, like Icon of the Seas that's coming down. But I realized it's not nearly as wide, and because it doesn't have that Central Park, boardwalk, surfside area that some of the big Royal Caribbean ships do. So maybe to compensate for that, they can add a couple extra decks at the top. It just really seemed taller than anything else out there. But really neat ship. I'd like to get on this sometime because it does have that feature. I think it's around deck 5 or 6, where you can walk along the outside of the ships, and there's a lot of kind of like little restaurant areas and bars along that walkway. And you know, to kind of be out in the fresh air, you know, checking out some of those places. So you get really close to these ships, and it's kind of cool, especially if you're going to be sailing on one. It's neat to kind of, if you want to come down, or if you can come down and check it out and see what it looks like ahead of time, it's always cool. And I would say, remember the horns. That seemed to be a standard thing when any of the ships left. So you know that they're pulling away from the pier and they're getting ready to sail out. And literally, as they go this way, they are heading out into the Atlantic to go to wherever they're sailing to, be it the Bahamas or somewhere in the Caribbean. And you can see their water slides up at the top. All the rooms, all those balconies along the side. And then they have kind of like an entertainment area in the back here. This back deck, I think, almost becomes like their nightclub at night, which would be kind of cool to see that. But it's a good area. Felt pretty safe down there. I mean, like I said, I parked my car about 5 or 6 blocks away and walked it down. Didn't feel like I was in a bad part of town or anything like that. It was really kind of good. So the only thing was, I was here in September and it was already a long day and it was still really hot. I mean, it was 90 plus. So I was happy when these were done and I could finally jump in the car and some air conditioning and head home. But you'll also see a lot of smaller ships. We don't see any right now, even some jet skis going by on this waterway back and forth, because this connects to a lot of areas, not just the cruise port. And I would say once they get going, they're going. You don't need to wait more than about 10 or 15 minutes from one ship to the next. So if you're coming down to film these, once they start, they're pretty much just one right after the other. There were 5 ships in port this day, and I think from start to finish, it was no more than about an hour and 10 minutes or so. And we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for checking out my video. And remember, if you're looking for a cruise, contact me and I'll find the perfect cruise vacation for you.